Hey there, it's Bootzone here. This is a Bosch WFF1401 washing machine. I normally had it installed over here and it was my day-to-day washing machine. I've since replaced it with this WFK2801. It's got some issue with it, don't know what, that it was getting stuck and running to the end. It would take on some water, make the clothes wet, not agitate them, and then get to the end. So I presume it's a motor fault. This machine doesn't tell you an error code, which is a bit frustrating, whereas the WFF1800 and the WFK2801, they'll give you an error code. So I've got to do some kind of manual analysis. So it's plugged in. Let's turn it to short spin and see if the motor is going to do anything for us. It's not on level ground. There's the pump pumping out. I'm not sure that there will be anything in it. Nothing coming out. I might have drained this down already. And at some point the motor should then start to turn on the drum. But nothing's happening yet. No, it's turning. Turning just fine there. It's going to get louder and louder. So unless it's an issue where when there's a load in it, it's not working right, I don't know. I might have to put it on a test wash with some laundry. It sounds like it's spinning up just fine. It wasn't blowing the fuse, it was just aborting. Ooh, it sounds a bit rough. It wasn't blowing a fuse or anything which would indicate the brushes, it was just aborting the wash somehow and working onto the end. Could be the element not heating it up right, but I don't think that's what it is because it takes on a lot of hot water and I don't think that would be what it is. It could be a pressure switch, not registering that the water is getting in there correctly. But I don't know. I have a spare machine, the only part that's missing is the motor. So I have all the parts for this machine if there's a problem. I don't want to listen to that anymore, there's nothing going to happen. So what I'll do is I'll plumb in the machine, put a wedge underneath the foot so that it doesn't wobble, and just get it to run through a cycle. Okay, so I've got my test arrangement rigged up. I've got hot water going into both pipes, so whatever it draws off it'll be hot, which doesn't affect the machine really. That's off. Let's put it onto cottons and linens short. 40 will do. Let's turn it on. Need to get something under that leg, under that washing machine foot. Okay, it's got a glove in there. It's taken on some water. It's moved on to the wash. It did a drain. Now, what's it doing, you see? This is what was happening before, I think. Let's get the top off and have a look. I wonder if it's a pressure sensor or something like that. So I've got the top off it. I'm just listening to it. It's still live. Sounds like one of these valves could be a dud. Let's just try turning off the water one by one. So this is cold off, and the cold is this one here. Let's turn the hot off. The hot solenoid might be broken. Sounds like it's letting through or something. It does sound like it's not working properly because it's making noise. Try clicking it on one more click. Now what? Stop that noise. There's the pump again. So the noise has stopped over at the solenoid. Let's just turn on the cold again. Oh, so it's taking on, so it's looking for water to rinse now because it's on the rinsing cycle. So that's the cold coming in for the rinse. There's hot water coming in there as well, is there? I can hear the boiler on, but that might be for something else in the house. The machine's got water in it now. Difficult to see, but it has. So will it begin to agitate? You can see the water filling up there. Yeah, so it might be a hot fill valve issue, which I've never seen before. But I can just swap that out and not worry about it. That's taking on hot. Oh, of course it's taking on hot water for the rinse because hot water is all I've got coming into it. That's why it's getting hot water in. Silly me. So even though it's the cold valve, I've just got it coming in through the hot tap. So I've turned off the hot and I've got the cold on now. That's cold coming through now. Yeah, it's cold and it's got bubbles there from somewhere. God knows where. It's just in the machine, I guess. It could be in the machine from the last wash that was aborted. That's probably where the bubbles have come from. I'm going to try and swap out that hot solenoid valve. I'll let this just play through. I don't think there's any issue with the motor because it's doing an agitate just fine and it's doing spin just fine. I'll get a new solenoid valve and we'll see what happens. So it's moving on through the rinsing cycle and it's doing fine, but I don't want to wait for it, so I just want to drain it out. So let's turn that off. Just abort it with the water in. Let's do 13, which is a drain cycle. Turn it on. So that water is just dropping, I think. Yeah. You can see that's coming out. Just push it straight on in just to stop it making a mess. That's draining down, and then up on top, this is one that I got out of my box of Bosch spares, and it has a different connector, I think, than the one that's meant to go in there, so I don't think it'll do. But this one I think will. It's a different colour, and it's got 4 screws on it, which is different, so I think this is an aftermarket solenoid valve, but I'll give it a clean and I think it should work. I think it has the right kind of connector on it. So once the machine has pumped out, which is almost now, we're almost there, you can hear it, it'll click. I guess once the pressure stays the same in the pressure valve, I'll turn off the power and then make this switch. It's a pretty quick fix really. There it is, so that's done and it's clicked through. So we turn that off and then we'll turn this off up here so there's no power on this anymore. So here I am, got some tools. Let's disconnect this cable first, and that's that. I think that's the same shape as the red one. Then on the back, I've got to open this plastic cover off the back, so push down these things. And there's a plastic cover over the back, so push those tabs down. We'll have to disconnect the water as well, so let's turn off the water. There's a bit of a spray, that's alright. So this plastic cover comes off the back, and I'll give that a wash before I put it back on. but it's not critical really. And then there's a single crosshead screw on this side. You can see me unscrewing it from there. Take that off. And then this thing slips out and there's a clip on the bottom there, and then just give that a grab and a twist. That should just slide out then. It's all a bit black dusty here. Oh, just sprayed water on everything else. Excellent. I was going to clean it, but I don't know if I'll bother actually. I'd rather see if it works first. It's as dirty as everything else in here. Let's put that clip back on. Offer this up, and how does it go on? That's it. It lifts up and then drops down. Clips right, and then the screw's got to go back in. So I've just set a screwdriver down somewhere. There it is. Tighten that up. Let's see if this connector works on top. Yeah, that goes in just fine. At this point my fingers are black. Put the hose back on and we'll run this on a wash again of 40 degrees. Just to see how we get on. Okay, so that's the connection. That's the repair there, if it works. That's the repair done. Okay, then over here, I've just tightened on the hose at the back, turned this water back on again to hot water. So that's water in the pipes. Then let's go back over here. Let's put this onto a number 3, the fast cotton. Turn the power on up here. Then turn the power on over here, and it should just go. Do a drain initially, maybe. Oh, it's just taking in the water. Doing a pump. Moving on. Moved on to wash. It's taking on hot water now, although I can't tell if that's hot or cold because it's all hot. That's on the number 2, so I think that's working now actually. Because we've gone on, it took a splash on the pre-wash side and now it's taken a splash over here. And I think that's coming through the hot valve. And it's not humming over there anymore. So it should go to agitate. Oh-ho! I think we might have fixed it. Let this machine play through the cycle and come back and check it. What I'll do first is I'll turn off this hot because I don't want to do a hot rinse, and turn on the cold. So now we're running cold water through whatever valve is coming through. Yeah, I'll just leave this to work away now. Hopefully that was it. That's a rare fault if that's what it was, but we'll find out. I think I'm quite happy that that's actually fixed it because it's doing the agitate properly. Hot solenoid. Bit weird. Okay, I'll do a summary if we get to the end of the cycle. So we're still in the wash. Once we get to the end of the cycle, I'll do a summary and just say if it worked. And if it does, that's pretty excellent. So we're still in the wash cycle here. It's on 40 degrees, and I'd say it's probably about 40 degrees in there. It's probably taken on more water cold because I changed it over to cold, I think. Yeah, it's on cold, so it probably took a bit longer to heat up. What I'm going to do, I'm kind of happy that it's working. I'd rather not just waste all the energy of heating that water up and whatnot. So what I'll do is I'll switch it off. Move it on to... No, I don't even want to do it that. I'll do it this way. Just go straight to drain. Good clear water coming out of that. Really good little pumps, these. So I'm happy that is okay. What I'll do is I'll set it up with a load of actual laundry. I'd rather do a wash with laundry than a wash without, because wash without is just a waste. So it's well into the wash cycle now. 40 degree cotton, full wash, cotton and linen normal. Soap's all gone in. I've given it a bit of a clean up, not much, but I wiped over the tub there and it was filthy, like really dirty. You can see I haven't gotten all around, but I'm not trying to do a creme de la creme job. I'm just trying to make it so that if I open it again, I won't get dirty just by touching it. So because it's gone on to the main wash, or it's nearly finished the main wash, I'll turn the hot off, turn the cold on. And that means that when it comes on to rinse, we'll have cold water for the rinse rather than hot, wasting hot water. This is just regular laundry now. The stuff that I would do in this machine. It wasn't in that machine. So while it's tipping away there, let's think about what happened. It was stuck in a wash. It would fill up, not agitate, and have damp laundry in the wash. Partially damp laundry. That was the symptom. So what I did was I tested it on a spin and drain, and I could tell that both the spin cycle and the motor would spin and it would drain, so the pump's working. So it's not those two items. So then I took the lid off and scratched my head and thought it could be the pressure or it could be the water coming in. Well, actually I didn't think about the water coming in at the start. I just thought it could be the pressure switch, not knowing when there was enough water in it, and so not beginning to agitate. But when I had the lid off, I listened very carefully and I could hear over here that the valve, the inlet valve or the inlet solenoid valve for the hot water was kind of humming. So I took that as a cue that there was something wrong, swapped it out, and that was all it took. So when this machine, or when this cycle is finished, I'll come back and I'll just confirm that everything's okay. So there it is. You might call it an anticlimax, but it seems to have done the trick. The laundry has been spun, water's all gone, pumped out. Let's turn it off, plug it out, or unplug it, as some would say. Quite a success. In some ways I could call this video how to replace the hot water solenoid valve. Oh, there's one thing left to do. Right, so let's turn off the water up here. One thing left to do. I washed that little white fascia thing there, and let's unscrew this. It'll release the pressure. Let's unscrew this. The water that's in the top end of the pipe is running down it now. So hook that over there. This little fascia here, it clips in at the bottom and snaps in at the top. It's not snapped in properly yet. Just need a little something to poke it. Maybe that is in, is it? No, I don't think so yet. There it is. That's it. That's that in. I'll tidy up here, put the top back on, which is no great. The way I see it is, if you can't figure out how to put the top on or take the top off, you shouldn't be doing any of this. Okay, there you have it. How to replace the hot solenoid valve on a Bosch WFF1401. I have a feeling it will pretty much be the same on a lot of washing machines. Thanks for watching. See you later.